Welcome back to Jerusalem. We're hearing unconfirmed reports tonight that there could be a 3-day ceasefire in place from tomorrow morning. But nearly a month since the start of the Israeli offensive in response to rocket attacks, the government here says the operation will only end properly when there's been a prolonged period of security for Israeli citizens. Well, what are the chances of that? With me now, Baskin, the Israeli-American mediator who helped negotiate the release of the Israeli soldier Gilad Shalit through communication with Hamas. Well, knowing what you do about these channels, does this idea of a new ceasefire sound credible?
It sounds credible because the Egyptians are working overtime to get it, but the Egyptian proposal has remained the same, and the problem for Hamas and Islamic Jihad to accept it is the separation of a stopping of the fire and then negotiating the political outcome of the war. Hamas has opposed this all along, and Israel and Egypt have demanded it all along. I think that what's happening is that Hamas is getting bribes, so to speak, from Egypt in terms of opening up the Rafah crossing on a permanent basis, which would entice Hamas to perhaps agree to something that they've disagreed to all along.
Well, why would Hamas agree to a ceasefire now? I mean,
Hamas wanted to have the Rafah crossing open. This was their whole strategy when they agreed to a national reconciliation government with Abbas. They capitulated on all their demands because the most important thing to them was to get the Rafah crossing open. The war delayed that and postponed it and maybe made it impossible. The trick here is for both sides to be able to claim victory at the end of this conflict, and neither side wants to give that victory to the other side.
I mean, if Israel goes with a ceasefire itself tomorrow, I mean, isn't the real reason because they've done it all? I mean, they have killed 1,700 people. They have destroyed all of the tunnels that they've found.
Right. The one thing, Israel has achieved its stated military goals in this operation, and the army is probably telling the government that if you don't expand the goals of the operation, we've done our job. We got rid of the tunnels. We got rid of most of their rockets. They'll still shoot at us. They have the ability to still shoot us for a month or 2 months, according to what they believe is the stockpile of rockets and mortars. But the army has done what it was told to do.
I mean, what we're talking about is not in truth peace, is this? It's just an end to hostilities. Right. I mean, so how do you get beyond that?
Well, you get beyond this by understanding that the regional dynamics now have created opportunities for Israel to understand that its neighbors, its direct neighbors, Egypt, the Palestinian Authority, Jordan, all have an interest in creating a regional security pact where the price tag for that for Israel is entering into a real peace process with the Palestinians on ending the occupation.
So do you think this offensive has actually changed anything?
That we'll have to see in the days to come. The opportunities have been opened up that weren't there before. There are people in Israel who are finally identifying that Mahmoud Abbas is a potential partner, that he shares the same goals with Israel, Jordan, and Egypt in fighting Islamic fundamentalism, and there could be a regional deal that could be made. In
terms of Israel's position in the wider world, has that changed at all? I mean, we're hearing stronger language from the Americans, stronger language today from Britain as well.
I spoke with a very senior Israeli international lawyer today who used to work for the Israeli government, who said that Israel is going to face an enormous amount of charges of war crimes, and it's going to be very difficult for Israel to fight these war crimes. And I'm sure that the government is cognizant of it and thinking that the longer the war goes on, the more civilian casualties that will be there, and they'll have more difficulty defending their policies.
Baskin, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Indeed, for joining us. That's it from Jerusalem now, but back to Kathy.